everyone, welcome to session 5. In the last session I have explained different types of selectors like element selectors, class selectors, ID selectors, universal selectors and general selectors. So in today's session I am going to discuss on few more types of selectors. The first one is about attribute selector. Attribute selector. Then I am going to explain on pseudo elements. Then pseudo classes. Then contextual selectors. So these are all the topics I am going to explain in today's session. So let us begin with the first topic, that is attribute selector. Attribute selectors. What do you mean by an attribute selector? Which provides a way to select HTML elements by the presence of an element attribute or by the value of the attribute. So you know that for some of the tags we can give a property. Property can be assigned in terms of attribute and a value. Is it right? So using those attribute or a value, we can select an HTML element. How it is achieved? What is the syntax? The syntax looks like this. We are supposed to give within a pair of square brackets, and this is representing a title, and this represents where you can give a style rules. Okay. So here I have listed few of the selectors for attribute type. For example, if you give anything data or an attribute or a value within a pair of square bracket, what it matches? It matches a specific attribute. I will give you an example on this so that you can understand it easily. Okay. So next is that within a pair of square bracket, if you are giving an attribute that is assigned with some value, means what it works? It matches a specific attribute with specific value. Okay. Next is about you are using tilde symbol along with equal operator. It matches a specific attribute whose value matches at least one of the words. Okay. So that is about this selector. Next is about you are using caret symbol, okay, along with an assignment operator. It means equal operator. How it matches? It matches a specific attribute whose value begins with a specified value. Okay. Whereas in this type of selector, what was happening? Whose value matches at least one of the words. Okay. Whereas here, whose value begins with the specified value only. Okay, then only it matches. Next is asterisk along with assignment. A specific attribute whose value contains a substring. Okay, so based on the substring it is going to match. Okay, so this is what an attribute selector works like this. I am going to take an example on this topic so that you can understand it easily. Take an example like this: HTML, head, style. CSS means obviously we are supposed to make use of a style attribute. Okay, style tag, style. Then I told you to use, we are supposed to demonstrate attribute selector, right? So how to use? For example, so here let me close style. Also I will close head, and I will start with the body. Then in body I am going to use a paragraph tag. So I said attribute selectors selects an HTML element where it matches with an attribute or a value. Okay. So now for a paragraph tag I am going to give an attribute called align. For this I am assigning this value center. Okay. So welcome is the message. then close paragraph tag. Next, I am using one more paragraph tag and I will say, hi, how are you? Okay, this is a body part. Finally, I am going to close an HTML. Now, how to write a style rule here means, for which tag you are supposed to, I mean to say, for which HTML element you are supposed to set the style rule? P. So, take P. Attribute selector syntax says that you are supposed to enclose within a pair of square brackets. Okay. So, here either you can select with the attribute or by a value. Okay. I am taking an attribute align. So, align. So, this is what the in this way you are supposed to give the style rule. And now you can set the properties. For example, color, green, then text, decoration. See, in each of the example I am going to use different sets of properties. Okay, so you can get use of this. Okay, text decoration. Text decoration I will give underline. Finally, close this. So now what happens here means, once you run this program, you can look into the output. What happened? Welcome is printed in green color and it is underlined. Why? Because align is the property which I have given here. It is matching for this selector. Otherwise, you can say this selector is working on this particular statement. Okay. Whereas in this case, I have not set any property, right? So, this selector doesn't match for this, even though P tag are same, but this align property is not matching with by this tag. I have not set any property. So, that is why hi, how are you is printed as it is in the output screen. Only the welcome has been styled. Okay, it is in green color and it is underlined. So, this is an example where you are implementing attribute selector. Okay. On this, I am going to take one more example on this. Instead of paragraph tag, I am going to take, see, for example, assume I am having, which tag is this? A stands for anchor tag. What do you do that? You can create an hyperlink, right? So, href, I am going to give www.abc.com and target something blank, then title for this link I am giving ABC, finally close an anchor tag. Another tag I will use href www.xyz.com, and for this I am not giving any target, XYZ, close this. So, now using this, how you can write means, you have to take an selector A and inside a square bracket I am going to use this attribute, that is target. Okay, for this I am going to set up style role, that is background color yellow. So, finally close this rule. Only one rule I have specified. Now, what happens? This is matching with this attribute, right? So, this line is going to execute or will be styled for this specific property. Okay. So, whereas in the next line, even though the A tag are matching, still the attribute is not matching for this. Okay. So, finally, there will be no changes for this particular statement, only it will be styled for this particular statement. So, finally, once you run this program, you can notice the output screen where the title ABC is printed by the background color yellow, since it is matching the property, whereas XYZ is printing as it is. Understood? So, finally we will move on to our next topic, pseudo elements. Pseudo elements, which is used to style specified or specific part of an element. Okay, pseudo elements are used to style specific part of an element. For example, you can style the first line of an element, you can style the first letter of an element, or you can insert some content before the content of an element, or you can insert some content after the content of an element. So, whatever the thing if I explain means, it will not so easier for you to understand. Let me take up an example so that it will be easier for you. Okay. So, I told you that you can make use of a pseudo elements to style the specific part, right? How? Styling the first line of the element. How? So, for example, take an example, HTML head style. Okay, I will leave space for style part, I will write it later. Okay, so then close the head, open body, then there I am giving some paragraph. Okay, here I will take a paragraph saying that welcome to CSE MIT Mysore. CSE Mysore. Then Belawadi. Okay, Belawadi. Srirangapattana. I don't have space here, I will continue here. Then I will write that so I have took one paragraph as an example. A pseudo element selector is a way to select something that does not exist explicitly as an element in the HTML document tree, but which is still recognizable selectable object. So now I will close the paragraph and also close body, then close the root, that is HTML. Okay. So now I told you that I am going to implement a property to style the first line of the paragraph. First line of the paragraph. So the pseudo element is this one only. So for which element I have to set the property paragraph tag. So in style part you have to mention P, then 2 colons you are using here. So sometimes you may use a single colon. What happens? That is working in case of version CSS1 and CSS2. When you make use of 2 colons, you have to think that you are it is working for version CSS3. Okay. So now pseudo element is first line. Okay. So this is how you have to write the selector. This is selector, this is colon, and this is pseudo element. Now you have to set a property. For example, color blue, then you can use another property, font variant, that is small caps. Now I am closing this style rule. Okay. So pseudo element called first line is used to style the first line of the paragraph. So for the paragraph, in the paragraph, first line will be set with the following rules: color in blue color, font variant. I have listed few of the fonts properties, right, like font value, font size, font color, and font variant, font family, is it right, font weight, so on like that. Now I am introducing about font variant. So font variant means if you want to change the cases, for example from smaller case to uppercase or uppercase to lowercase, in that case you can make use of a property called font variant. Okay. So here small caps, it means that you are converting smaller letter to capital letter. Okay. So now finally I have took up the paragraph like this. So what happens here now? This is a paragraph which consists of 3 to 4 lines, right? So once you run this program, you can notice that the first line is been set with this rule. It is in blue color and also it is converted from lowercase to uppercase. So this is about first line. Are you getting? Okay. So next, for the same example, I am going to introduce next type of pseudo element, that is first letter. It means you are going to style the first letter of in the paragraph. Okay. So here I have to change the element first letter. Okay. So let the property remains same. It is, or I can change like this, font size. See, I will give like this. What happened? For font size, I was giving in terms of points, centimeters or px, right? Units of measure was different. By this time I am using like this. So yes, this indicates that you are giving extra large. Okay. Now, so for the same content, let me run the program. So you can look into the output. What has happened here? Only the first letter is been changed to blue color and it is in larger font size, and remaining contents of the paragraph remains as it is. So this is what the pseudo element first letter is working for. Okay. So next, let me speak on before. Before is a pseudo element. It means which is used to insert the content before the content of an element. How means? Let me erase this. Okay. So for example, in paragraph I am taking hi, and in next paragraph I am taking hello. Okay. So now what I have to write here? Before is a pseudo element. So in before, always you have to be careful, not only by setting the style rules, you have to insert the content. So you have to take one more property called content, and whatever the content you want, you can add it within the double quotes. Okay. Example, I am giving a content MIT like this. Okay. So now once you run this program, what happens? You can look into the output screen. hi is printed. Before hi, you have used before pseudo element, right? So before this message, what is the content is displaying? MIT hyphen, and it is printing hi, and it is in color blue and it is in large. Okay, same way, hello. Since you have given the element P, right, paragraph, so for all the tags present which are matching will be affected with this this element. Okay. So now how this line will be printed? MIT hyphen hello in blue color and in this font size. Getting everyone? This is about before. And in the same way, I am going to speak on after. Why this is used? Which is used to insert the content after the content of an element. Okay. So for example, I will use after here, and here I am saying thank you. Okay. So now let me change color. Okay. I will say pink, and instead of font weight, bold, like this. I have changed style rule. Okay. So now tell me, how is the output will be displayed? You can look into the output. What happens? It prints the message hi. After that content will be printed. Thank you. Hi, thank you. In which color? Pink, and it will be bold. Likewise, hello message is printed. After that, thank you is printed, and it is in color pink, and it is in bold. Okay. So this is about pseudo element. Okay. So next we will move on to next topic, that is pseudo classes. So here pseudo classes are used to define a special state of an element. Okay. So you are not speaking about style, you are speaking about state of an element. How it varies? Yes, it is very interesting. You can realize that while the program demonstration. Okay. For example, how you can change the special state for an element, style an element when a user mouses over it. So why pseudo classes which are used to define a special state of an element. So we are not talking about special style, it is speaking on special state. How you can assign a special state for an element in terms of, for example, style an element when a user mouses over it, in the sense when the cursor is, or when you place the cursor on particular point of an element, how its state will be changed. Okay. That is achieved by a property called hover. HOVER. Okay. Next, style visited and unvisited link differently. Okay. So it means that in default, when you are visiting the link, okay, so always the link will be printed or displayed in blue color. Okay. Once after visiting the link will be displayed in purple color. Visited link will be printed in purple color, and unvisited link will be displayed in blue color in default browsers. Okay. So you can also change that property. Style an element when it gets focus. When you are focusing, how you can change the state. So these types of changes you can do. That is what state of an element. So let me take up an example so that you can understand it easily. Okay, so you can easily realize that I am talking about links only. So when you visit the link, it will be turned to purple color. When it is unvisited, it is turned in blue color. So which tag we are supposed to implement in order to demonstrate this topic? Yes, of course, hyperlink, right? That is anchor tag. So we have to work on anchor tag only. See, not all the tags works with all the topics or with all the examples. For some of the topics, we are supposed to select the particular tags only in order to realize the state. Okay. So now let me take up an example. HTML, head, style. Okay. So I am going to use a style. For which tag? Anchor tag, right? A tag. Okay. So link. I am going to set a property. What is the, see, by default unvisited link will be in which color? You can notice, you run one simple program where you are implementing anchor tag and you look at the output. You don't set any properties, I mean to say color property. You just run the program. So the link will be displayed in blue color only. By default, the color is blue for links. Okay, now I am going to change it. I am changing it to red. And also, I will give the property text decoration underline. Understood? So next, after this, I will say visited. Unvisited link should be displayed in this color, red color, and it should be underlined. Visited link, which color you, by default it is in purple color, which color you wish. You can change the property. I am going to say yellow color, visited link. Okay, then text decoration, underline. Getting? So next, hover. Color, I am setting it to hot pink. So now, what is this hover? I have mentioned here only, style an element when a user mouses over it. In the sense, if there is a link, when you place the cursor on that link, that process we call it as hover. You are placing the cursor near the link. By that time, it has to be changed to hot pink color. Next, active. So, active means when you click on that link, you can change the color of the link. How? By using active. Color, I am giving green. Finally, you can close style, also close head, open body. I think it is not visible, so I am going to continue from here. Okay, I am going to write here how a href www.mit mysore.in, then visit MIT is the visit MIT is the title of the link, and close the anchor tag. Also close the body, also close the HTML. Now what happens here? Now you run the program. You can notice in the output screen, you can notice there is a message visit MIT. That is not a message, that is a link. Okay. That unvisited link is printed in which color? Red color, and it is underlined. Okay. Then when you, now I will place the cursor. Now I am going to place the cursor on that link. So that operation we call it as hover. So by that time that color has been changed to hot pink. You can notice, right? Now once if I click on that link, I am doing some active operation. While the link is getting active, it is going to change in color green. So finally the web page has been, that link has been opened. When you come back to the link, it is already visited. The visited link should be in which color? Yellow color. So these output changes you can notice, I think so. So this is what pseudo classes. You are setting the special state of an element. So finally close and close the body. Close the HTML. So this is all about an pseudo classes. In pseudo classes, there is one more property called pseudo child. Pseudo child means with selects and style, every P element which is the first child of its parent, which is the first, I will write here, selects and style every P element which is the first child of its parent. Okay. For example, I am taking one example program, HTML, head, style, and I will close style, open the body, head, then open the body. I am going to use P, hi, then P, hello, close body, close HTML. So what it works, how it works for selects and style every P element which is the first child of its parent. So now for this P, which is the parent, body, right? Body is the parent. So P is the first child. There are two P's. Which is the first child? This is the first child. So now P, this is you know, right, selector, then first child, I will change the rule, color green. So now finally when you run this program, the first child is this one, hi is printed in green color, and the remaining contents, even though they are in P tag, they are printed as it is. This is what first child pseudo class is working for. Okay. So now we will move on to next topic, that is contextual selector. So I have completed attribute selector, pseudo elements, pseudo classes. We will move on to next type, that is contextual selectors. Contextual selectors, which is also named as combinators. So this selectors selects an HTML element based on their relations. For example, ancestors, descendants, siblings, general siblings, so on like that. Okay. There are different types of contextual selectors. First one I am talking on descendants. So descendants means matches all elements which are contained within another element. Which are contained within another element. Example, HTML, head, style. I will leave space for style. Okay. I will end the style, close the head, body. Yes, ear. Better I will start from ear only. Body will be continued from this side. Okay. I am taking div tag. Okay. There I am using a paragraph. Okay. It says paragraph 1. Very simple text. Second one, paragraph 2. Then inside this I am going to use a section tag, then p tag. This is paragraph 3. Close p and also close section. You have to be careful, this is nesting. Then another one, paragraph 4. Next I am going to end the div tag. After that I am writing paragraph 5. Okay. Next I am taking one example heading that says heading hello. And now I will continue with another paragraph 6. Now close the body, also close the HTML. I told you that contextual selectors selects an HTML element based on their relations. Okay. Now what happens here? This I am going to use this space now. Okay. You have to be clear. I am going to illustrate descendants. Okay. Matches all elements which are contained within another element. Okay. So now when you enter into the body, div is one element. Under this, which are all the elements? P, yes. One more P, yes. Next, under this section, under section I have P. Next, P. So this is child only for this one. You are getting. So if I think this is body as this child, under this I have these many descendants. Once if I end div, I have another child for body. Getting? Another child, that is H1. Another child P. So I think you can distinguish how I have written the tree. So body has 4 childs and again inside it has a descendants. So now descendants means matches all elements which are contained within another element. Is it right? So I have to set for which element you are setting the rules. Style. Okay. I will take div space P. It thinks that for an element div, what are all the descendants present? In that descendants, if it has P as descendant, for that you have to set the rules. I am saying not property, I will say color pink. I am setting the style rule. Now once you run this program, what happens? For div tag, which are all the descendants? These are all the descendants, right? So all these descendants will be, I will run the program. So you can look into the output. What has happened? Paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4 is printed in pink color, and remaining are the child descendants of body, not a descendant of div. So that's why they are not changed. They are printing as it is. Okay. So next is about child. So child, next type of contextual selector is child. So what it does means, when you specify a parent or an ancestor, here you are going to specify a child. So now how it works means, only this child, only it matches the first child of the parent. To see, this is the selector type used for matching descendants, right? For child you have to use this one. So now how it works means, for this div tag, is this the first child? Yes. This is the first child? Yes. Section, here I have P, this is not the first child, this is the first child. So that's why this will not be reflected, and this is the first child. So finally, once you run this program, you can look into the output screen, that is paragraph 1, 2 and 4 is printed in pink color, and other tags have not been reflected. It means that child property says that an element or a particular element should be a first child for the parent. Div becomes a parent and P should be a first child. For this example, I have written a documentary. These are all first child. Section P will become a second child now. Okay? Yes. So next is about another type of selector is about adjacent sibling. Adjacent sibling, a specified element should be the next adjacent sibling. Here the selector is used by plus. For div, I have to style the next adjacent sibling, which should be P. Now you look into this documentary. Div is one child, right? For this, the next adjacent, I have P, yes. So this will be styled with pink color. Okay, now you run the program, you can notice paragraph 1, 2, 3 and 4 remains as it is. 5 will be printed in pink color and remaining will be printed as it is. This is adjacent sibling. For div, see this symbol represent adjacent sibling. For div, the adjacent sibling is P. These are all the descendants or child. This is a sibling and it is selecting the next adjacent sibling only. In case, assume you have like this H1, P, P. If it is the case, div, a next adjacent sibling, it is going to match with P only. Even though I have H1, it search for the next P and this will be reflected. Okay, in our example, the tree is in this form. Don't get confused. Okay, so next one is general sibling. General sibling means the symbol is changed here in this way. Now you look into the documentary. For div, the general siblings, so look for general siblings. I have P, H1 and P. So which are to be reflected? These two, right? So once you run this program, paragraph 1, 2, 3 and 4 ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Will not be changed. General siblings yavdo? Paragraph 5 and paragraph 6. That will be changed in pink color. This is what contextual selectors. I think you work on these examples, you will understand in clear. Okay? Thank you everyone.